A day in the life of a Googley administrator. Meet Principal Jones, the Googley principal. 5:30 a.m. the alarm clock rings and Principal Jones wakes up. He starts his day by checking his Google Calendar and email on his mobile phone in order to see what meetings and appointments he has for the day. He sees on the Google Calendar that today is Spirit Week and that he needs to wear his school colors. 6:30 a.m. on his way to work, a Google Calendar reminder dings on his mobile phone to remind him about the 7:30 administrative meeting. 7:15, he heads into his office and checks the Google Calendar invite to verify the location of the 7:30 meeting. He notices that the elementary vice principal declined the invitation to the meeting due to a conflict with another meeting. He opens up the Google Doc agenda for the meeting in order to add a few agenda items to discuss. While in the document, he sees the high school principal is typing in her agenda items. He notices that she already added a few of his. 7:30, the admin meeting starts. Everyone opens up the Google Doc agenda and the minutes are entered for everyone to edit in real time. Principal Jones receives a chat from a secretary about an impromptu parent meeting request. He chats back and says to make a meeting with them at the end of the day. He receives and accepts the calendar invite to the parent meeting and invites the vice principals to it as well. Next, everyone opens up the link from within the agenda to a Google spreadsheet in order to edit their budget planning for next year. Lastly, everyone opens up a Google Drawing, which is a layout of the gym for the upcoming International Day event, and makes a few adjustments. 10 o'clock, Principal Jones heads back to his office and opens up his Gmail task list. First, in order to prepare for the staff meeting after school, he reviews the shared Google presentation he has been working on with the vice principals and embeds his final motivational YouTube video. Next, he asks his secretary to add the staff potluck dinner to the faculty calendar, send out a RSVP using a Google form, and to create a shared Google Doc sign-up sheet for the food. Then he edits and finalizes the conference parent feedback form and shares it with his secretary so it can be emailed to parents at the end of the week. Finally, he opens the elementary Google site and embeds his weekly update letter to parents. 12 o'clock, he grabs a quick bite to eat for lunch before he interviews a future candidate using a Google Plus Hangout. While eating lunch, he opens the Google Doc job description and uploads the candidate's resume to Google Drive and turns it into a Google Doc so he can type to make notes. During the interview, he shares the Google Doc job description with the candidate. Next, he creates a shared folder with the vice principals and uploads prospective candidates' resumes in order to fill teacher vacancies for next school year. 2 o'clock, classroom and teacher observations. Principal Jones completes a Google form on his tablet that records all of his feedback to teachers in a Google spreadsheet and emails the teacher a copy of the comments afterwards. 3:30, Google Calendar reminds him to go to the parent meeting starting in 15 minutes. 4 o'clock, opens up his presentation for the staff meeting and presents. 6 o'clock, he returns home to have dinner. Afterwards, he calls to make an appointment for a haircut and adds that to his private Google Calendar. Then, he does one final check of his email and sees a teacher shared a Picasso web album with him, which has pictures from the grade 3 science fair. He downloads a few pictures for his upcoming weekly parent letter. 8 o'clock, he finishes his day before going to sleep by opening up his principal's blog on Blogger and writes a blog post about teacher evaluation. Finally, he checks his personal learning community page, Google+, to read an article about how to flip his next staff meeting. This completes the day in the life of a Googley administrator, for it to start all over again tomorrow.
Created using Powtoon.